Welcome to 2025. What would be a better way of launching into a new year than looking at the absolute best way of building a force list in BattleTech? Can't think of anything, so let's have a look at Reactor Ops. Now, before Reactor Ops launched late last year, 2024, when I would build a list in BattleTech, I would have 3 or 4 different things open. I would have master unit list to, make the actual list with skill modifiers and skills and that sort of thing. I would have Sarna.net open to get like a quick overview of like the different variants of mechs I would like to play or tanks I would like to play. Get an idea of what kinds of weapons and equipment they have. I would also have flex sheets or null G TAC ops open to find the actual record sheets to look at the details of the things. 3 or 4 different things open at any given time. Reactor Ops changes all of that. It condenses all of the information you need to build a list in BattleTech into one very functional, very slick, very modern website. It's pretty fantastic. The only thing Reactor Ops doesn't do is record sheets, but it's a private project. It's not supported by Catalyst Game Labs or anything, so I'm sure you can figure out why Reactor Ops doesn't have record sheets. You can find those somewhere else. You can even export your list as like a MegaMek file and get your list out like that. So that's pretty cool. But a while back, Reactor Ops got an update that added an absolute killer feature that makes it far and away the best way of building a list out of your models in your actual collection. Let's have a look at why I think Reactor Ops is so great. Of course, when you open Reactor Ops, you're immediately plunged into the search function here. Of course, you want to make an account and log in. And you can search by unit names, of course, basic stuff. And you have a whole host of filters. It's the best set of filters for looking for BattleTech units I've ever seen anywhere. It's got more stuff you can look for than master unit list. MegaMek has some pretty good functions as well, but it's not as good as this one. Let's have a look. Of course, you can look for general stuff like unit types and tech bases and weight classes, rules levels, roles and BVs and tonnages and even C-bill costs. You can search by era and faction. There are some even more esoteric ones here. For example, you could search for extinct units or unique units. Pretty cool. What's very cool is you can actually search for units that have specific kinds of weapons. For example, maybe you want to find all of the mechs that have ghost rifles, so you get that. Or maybe you want the ones that have the HAG 40 for whatever reason. You can search for that. You can use that as a filter. Every single type of weaponry is accounted for here. You could even look for specific melee weapons or like anti-missile system stuff or whatever. It's also present here. You can look for like different types of movement and MP types and even like specific speeds or movement enhancements. Like you can look for or filter by like, do you want to have like an underwater maneuvering unit in your unit? You can search for that. You can even search by different electronics. Maybe you want to build a C3 list. It's going to calculate all of that for you. And you can look for C3 units very specifically. Every single type of technology in BattleTech is accounted for in Reactor Ops. It's pretty great. Every single type of thing you might want to look for is here. It's all here. It's fantastic. You can even search by quirks, which is pretty crazy. Fantastic filter options. Now I want to show you why Reactor Ops has made building a list for me so much easier than before. Let's say we want to look for a commando. Some sort of commando. I don't even like the commando. I don't care for a commando, but that's just what I had in mind. If we want to look at, let's say, the commando, 4H for whatever reason, we can get all of its most important details on one screen with one click. Here, check this out. Immediately, we can see all of the relevant information that's going to be interesting to a BattleTech player. You can see all of the weapons. Does it have equipment, heat sinks, speed? Does it have case, armor totals, and all of the details? Even quirks are listed here. You can look at like different graphs. What's the range damage ceiling? It's pretty cool. How many armor points does it have? How does it move? Locations. It's fantastic. You get all of this information that you would otherwise have to look at record sheets or like Sarna for, and have everything available in one place. Even availability is here. It's pretty fantastic. It'll show you the factions and eras when this thing is available. And then you can just add it to your force. Or if you know what you're looking for, you can just click here. That's pretty fantastic. I don't think anything else does exactly this. But like I mentioned, just a while back, Reactor Ops got an update that changed everything. It got an amazing new feature. It's found here in command. Hangar Vaults. Create and manage lists of models from your collection to use as search filters for force building and other tasks. What this means, I've got a bunch of lists here, Hangar Vaults. Let's take my Clan Hell's Horses list, and I've added every single model I've got in my actual collection in real life, in my case there. I've got all of my mechs, I've got all of my vehicles here, I got my gnome battle armor, my proto-mechs, and I can use this specific list as a filter in the search function. I'm sure you can imagine why this is so powerful. Let's just make a real quick list using a Hangar Vault. Let's take my Clan Hell's Horses, and already it's taken only the things that I could build based on my collection of models. Now maybe I want to build like a real Hell's Horses list. Let's include some common units. Let's throw in Hell's Horses, and maybe we want units that are available, let's say, in the Jihad era. And now we are already down to 126 results based only on my models. So let's just throw a couple of mechs in here. Let's throw in a Behemoth and I don't know, a Black Hawk. All sorts of stuff here, of course. Let's throw in some LRM gnomes, I suppose. Why not? A couple of those. And a support tank as well. And I don't know. Let's find some proto-mechs. Let's put in some Minotaurs, whatever. You know, it doesn't really matter. And this is, again, everything is based entirely on what I have in my collection. And now I can look at my force. Let's go to my force. And of course you get all of this fancy data here. You can of course adjust your pilots and it'll calculate your BV for you. Of course, something you'd expect, of course. Something you might have noticed, you could even set up a C3 network and it would count the C3 network's value for your force. And here you have your overview of your force. You get, again, like damage ceiling graphs and damage by unit graphs. You get a list of all of the weapons in your force. And of course you get all of the important data here, right on one page. On one page. Everything is here, everything you would like to know. And you can delete units from the list and you can add more. What a fantastic feature, right? I'm sure you can see why I think Reactor Ops is the best way of making a list in BattleTech right now. So why not check it out? reactorops.com. It's free. There's a Patreon. You can chip in like $3 or something and you'll get, like, of course, updates and stuff. But what you can also do is talk to the guy developing this app directly. He's a great guy, answers every single question you might have, and you can even suggest stuff. There's even a couple of things I've talked about there that's already been implemented here. It's pretty fantastic. So if you want to, you can support this guy on Patreon as well. The guy also has a very nice YouTube channel that I totally recommend as well. I'm in no way affiliated with this guy. I just really like what he's offering here. Of course, there's rumors of Master Unit List 2.0 coming out in the near future, so who knows what that changes, how different everything's going to be when that comes out. But, you know, at this point, Reactor Ops is the best way to build a BattleTech force list in 2025. Anyway, that's the video for this time. Thanks for watching. See you next time.